So you mentioned, we're sitting here talking, and you mentioned just in passing, like, well, that's what makes the guards great, young guys like Steve Nash, Chris Paul. And most people, will compare stuff to those guys all the time, but you're in the situation where you're counting on a chance to actually compete against them in the next couple of years. Does that excite you a lot, or?
Definitely. I mean, it was even surreal when I got to the Heat and sitting next to D. Wade and Sean Marion, he was there talking. I mean, but one thing you have to know is when you get on the court, they're just like you. They're just basketball players playing the game that they love. So, I mean, yeah, it might be a little surreal when I get on the court with them first, but you just know that you're there to do a job. And you got to throw everything out the window and just play the game.
Yeah, now even before you made it to the NBA, you were playing with the pro and Stephen Curry. And, the word on the street is that Stephen Curry is not only an outstanding basketball player, but he's like a really, really good person. I actually heard he just wrote like 1,000 thank you letters to everybody at Davidson. Did you get one of those thank you letters?
Of course I did. But I called him the next day because, I mean, he didn't really need to send it to me or my family. But, I mean, it was a good gesture by him. It's very smart by him and his PR people to thank everyone at Davidson. I mean, he's a great kid. He's one of my best friends. We talk three times a week. So, as good as a basketball player, he's a great person. So, you're right about the 3,000 thank you letters, but that just shows the type of person that he is.
Now, you also play for Coach Bob McKillop, who, before these last few years with Davidson's been outstanding, didn't get a ton of national notoriety, but now that it's been brought to the spotlight, people are starting to notice. He's been there for how many, like 30 years? Or?
He's going on 20.
And 20 years, and he just coached, I think, the under-19 national team, and he's a legendary coach. Oh, what did you learn from playing under a guy like that?
He's taught me a lot, not only on the court, but off. I really grew as a person, and on the court and off, like I said. He taught me along, he turned me into a point guard. When I was in high school, I was more of a combo guard, but he turned me to be a leader. And, I mean, one thing I learned is just being in those situations, playing against the best players in the country, is that you can play against anyone. And if you work hard, if you put your mind to it, I mean, you shouldn't be back down from anyone. He's very confident in me and confident in his players.
Really in the spotlight, what are you kind of doing to give back and to make an impact on, or what are you doing or planning on doing in the future?
I do a camp somewhere, but one thing I'm doing now is kind of giving back to one of the basketball programs I played for, Joy the Game, Mike Weinstein, on Deerfield. I mean, he did a lot for me in the recruiting process, but also, I mean, just working out with the kids, showing up at these showcases, just kind of being there, watching kids and talking to them, just kind of giving back, because that's one thing a lot of guys don't do, is get back to where they came from. A lot of people forget where they came from. So, I mean, not only Joy the Game, but also Tom Allen. He did a lot for me when I was playing for him.
So, I know that last question. My next thing I want to ask about is that time you did spend in the league. Do you have any interesting stories about guys like D. Wade or Sean Marion that you could share with the public?
I know there's some stories I can't really share, but I mean, one thing, a lot of people think that a lot of professional athletes can be stuck up, but the guys, at least with the Heat, they're first-class guys. They're great teammates. They're great ambassadors. Great people in the community. I mean, what D. Wade does down there is unbelievable. So there aren't any specific stories, but just being around and seeing how they go about their every day, they're professionals.
Yeah.
They're not just basketball players, they're actually professionals.
Yeah, and D. Wade in particular, I've met a number of pro basketball players, but like recently I helped ESPN with, they did Homecoming with Dwayne Wade, and at Richards High School, and I helped them get people for their studio audience. And because I helped him, I got to sit on the stage, and in the commercial breaks I got to talk to him. And I was just amazed at how down to earth he was, and just how fun he was. He didn't have that kind of shield up.
No.
That you got that he was.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, even just being around the guys. I mean, he's like I said, they're all just regular human beings, just playing basketball. So, I mean, a lot of guys can't get stuck up, but at least the guys that I was around, I mean, they're down to earth. So, they're great guys.
Cool. Now, do you have any shout outs to any people back home or in the league, or anything else you want to throw out here?
I'll give a shout out to my family, and then Steph Curry, to my boy. But I guess I gotta say Mike Weinstein and Brian Davis, Enjoy the Game. And I'll give a shout out to my protege, Ben Bruss.
Ben Bruss? I knew Ben Bruss was high major before any of you fools. I remember the day, even before Mike Weinstein, I remember the day I knew Ben Bruss was high major. So shout out to Ben Bruss too, even though he just told me to score the Iowa game, even though I T-voted it. And you just gave Steph Curry a shout out, so that means you need to make sure he watches it. And congratulations on earning the starting spot. We just found out he had the starting spot, right?
Yep.
I got you on my fantasy team, so step up. I guess that's all we got for today.
Sounds good.
Until next time, I'm Dan Poneman with IllinoisHSBasketball.com, and we'll be watching you every step of the way.
Appreciate it.